We have a round of applause for Jessica. She made it in tonight. We love Jessica. So where is Officer Keating and Officer Schiavone? Are they here? And I need Eric DeLeon. You up? So, in 1990, my father was a police officer in Lawrence, as most of you know. He was murdered in the line of duty. And the two people who murdered him signed a confession. They were caught with his blood all over them at Lawrence General Hospital. They went to trial, and on a technicality, they walked. And ever since then, as heartbroken as I and my family were, I decided that every year we were going to do something to keep his name alive. So when we started the Valley Patriot, we worked that into what we do with the Valley Patriot, because my father's birthday was on March 7th. And the day that he got beaten was March 13th. And he lived for 3 days and he died on March 19th. I'm sorry, about March 16th. And we buried him on March 19th. Just by happenstance, we started the Valley Patriot in March. Our first edition came out in March of 2004. So it only seemed appropriate that we merged these two things. It only just seemed right. Can you close that door, Nancy? Just close the door, thank you. So every year, we give out a Officer Tom Duggan Hero Police Officer Award. And I want to just tell you real quickly what the criteria for this award is. A lot of police officers go out there, they do their job every day, they do heroic things, they get recognized by the Exchange Club and the Rotary Club, and they do get recognized. But my dad was very underappreciated. It was one of the things that when we talked about his life on the job, he said he loved doing what he did, but he hated the politics in the station. Because he applied and took the test to be a sergeant 3 times. And he came first on the list 3 times. And he got passed over 3 times because he wasn't a politician. He didn't want to be involved in the inner workings of the inner politics of the police station. And he always really kind of felt underappreciated among his own. So it was really kind of bizarre a few years later when he died and thousands and thousands and thousands of police officers from all over the country came to his funeral. So when we started this award, I call all of the police chiefs in the area and I say, I want you to nominate someone. And the chief in Lawrence will nominate someone, North Andover will nominate someone, Haverhill, and Methuen, and even Andover will nominate someone. And then I'll call them back and say, the guy that you nominated, I want to make sure that you're giving this to a guy that's underappreciated, as my father was underappreciated. So I want to give this award to somebody who goes out and does the little things in life to make the job of police officer service the public better. And Captain, I'm sorry, he used to be a captain, now he's a police chief in Methuen. Chief Mack, who couldn't be here tonight, called me and said, Tom, have I got 2 guys for you. These guys go out there and do their work every single day. They ask for no thanks. They get almost no thanks. And I really want you to consider these 2 guys. And I had 2 other officers that I was looking at, but after my conversation with Chief Mack, I knew for sure that this award should go to Officers Keating and Schiavone. And I'm also pretty honored too, by the way, to have Randy Hagar with us. Because in the political world, it's a little different than the police world. And I've kind of savaged him a couple times on my show. And yet he's still here. He still came because he's one of the grown-ups in the community that's willing to put aside the personal bullcrap and do something good for other people. So I would be honored, Randy, if you could read the reasons why Officer Schiavone and Officer Keating got this award.
Just as Tom said, the Chief McNamara is very sorry he couldn't be here tonight. But I do know that he appreciates both of you and appreciates all of the officers that work under him and wants to make sure that you're all important to us in the city, and he wanted to send his best wishes. So Officer Kevin Schiavone and James Keating were working a detail one evening at the Elixir Lounge on East Street in Methuen. While in the area, a shooting occurred with 6 or 7 shots being fired. Simultaneously, a large fight broke out during the closing time at which the officers were present within feet of the incident. The scene was very chaotic. Approximately 100 people in the Elixir parking lot were agitated, angry, gridlocking the parking lot very quickly. The officers were outnumbered. The crowd was yelling, honking horns, revving car engines. The shooter was still on site. Officers from Andover, Haverhill, Mass State Police, Medford, Newbury, Lowell, Dracut, and Salem, New Hampshire were called in by Sergeant DeLeon, who was on the desk that night, for mutual aid. One male was shot in the leg above the knee. He was attempting to conceal the injury and involvement and leave the scene. Police were looking for the Mercedes that they had believed to be involved in the shooting. The police officers there observed the Mercedes parked with tinted windows and, fearing for their safety, ordered the occupants out of the car at gunpoint. During this time, just to give you a little background, the officers were still trying to get into the parking lot to get to assist Officers Schiavone and Keating, who were gridlocked in the parking lot of the establishment. The officers located the female attempting to hide a gun within the back seat of the vehicle. The 4 occupants of the vehicle were subsequently arrested. Sergeant DeLeon, who's here tonight, was the commanding officer, and speaking to him after the incident, you could tell how shaken up he was. As the commanding officer, he felt that his officers on scene were in imminent harm. Numerous outside agencies were contacted and responded to assist, which turned out and was a very dangerous incident. As a result of a complete and thorough investigation by officers Schiavone and Keating, 2 firearms were recovered and several arrests were made. These 2 officers showed courage and the ability to work through a very stressful situation involving an unruly crowd of more than 100. These 2 officers remained composed and focused. Doing so kept other officers safe on scene. The officers securing a dangerous crime scene, rendering first aid, and conducting a thorough investigation. Sergeant DeLeon requests that these 2 officers be recognized for their brave efforts. One of the, what we failed to mention in here is that the shooting took place within 50 feet of Officer Schiavone. And the individuals there knew there were police officers working in detail that night, and they had no regard for any of the uniform or any type of authority there. So you can see how brazen and disrespectful that the whole situation was. Very dangerous. So the Valley Patriot, by Mr. Duggan, is proud to bestow the Officer Tom Duggan Senior Hero Award to Officers James Keating and Kevin Schiavone.
Yeah, that's definitely So Tommy Schiavone,